Let's talk about percussion. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We are in the Midlands of England. It is December and it's just starting to snow. How festive can you get? Although in England snow is mainly sort of cold water. But anyway, today we're going to talk about percussion. Not percussion as in that kind of percussive techniques. Although I think we can talk about that. If you look back at some of my old videos, there are some videos about that. But more importantly, we're going to look at these 4 tabs on the top here of the Hammond C3. Now you'll see those tabs in various forms on various Hammond organs. And on the XK3, XK3C, XK5, they're in the top right as well, and they follow exactly the same pattern, although the buttons to my mind aren't as nice. But then again, the newer models are more about sort of compact and portability, aren't they, than anything else. So what do they do? Best way to do it really, I think, is to switch all the drawbars off so it makes no sound. So here we are, no sound at all, and I'll switch percussion on, and there's a note. I mean, you could play that, couldn't you? You could play the percussion sound on the C, and programmatically on the newer ones you can make that louder or quieter, but it involves a screwdriver here as opposed to a menu on the others. But you know, so that's like the high-pitched click, isn't it? It's a nice little click on the front, a bit of a tack. Very nice. Soft, well, what do you know? Can you hear the difference there? Tonally, nothing. So that was just volume, wouldn't you? Fast or slow, that's how quickly the note disappears, the click of the percussion. Here we go. There's these on. There you go, nice and click it fast. Gone. Okay, so that is really, and it's gone. Blink and you'll miss it. And then finally we've got third or second, and that's the tone, and that will come into play in a moment when I start giving you roots. But yeah, so that's just shifting the note about. We'll discuss why that's important. A couple of things to note about percussion. First of all, doesn't happen when you're on the B flat drawbar. Do you remember the other day we spoke about the drawbars, the inverse keys, left hand side? If you're set to B flat, you don't get it. Okay? Now, bottom drawbar, you don't get it. So it never happens on the bottom. Bottom manual, beg your pardon. Just doesn't happen there, and it only happens on the B register, which is the second one up here, and not on the B flat. Okay, so cancelling. There's another thing about cancelling as well. So you'll see that I can make that noise. If I hold a note down, Nothing. Okay, if I hold 2 notes down, if I play sloppy, you won't hear the second one. You see that one's down? You don't hear the second one. Okay, so it's like a first past the post sort of trigger. It will do multiples, so if you hit 4 notes at the same time, it'll do a chord. But if you're late on one of the notes, it won't do that. Okay. Now, so what is it? What is it? Well, yeah. Good point. I'll get to that. So let's get a basic sound up. We'll go 8-8-8. You remember the drawbar series I did, the 9 drawbars, and they're all they're stops that you pull out 1 to 8. So 8-8-8 is a pretty standard bluesy thing. Put the overdrive on because I'm an animal. So just whack it away. Standard kind of bluesy kind. Lovely. Right, so what happens when we put the percussion on and what are the nuances around it? Let's have a listen. So there's your root now, your root note C. You hear that? Put the percussion on. So what is that note? That's good. See? The percussion is a C when you play a C. Might be a good time to nip to this button here, which says third, because we know something's going on there, don't we? So the percussion, the root note is C. The percussion is a, what's that? It's a G. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we know there's a fifth there, isn't there? On the percussion. That's interesting. So let's go back to the first one. Here's the sound we're after. Heard that 1,000 times before. Deep Purple Fireball album, No. There's a really good solo that starts off. I don't know the solo, so I'm not even going to try it. But there's one that starts off with minimal drawbars and percussion. It's a really good one for learning what drawbars do because he pulls the drawbars out as he's playing along. So he's giving it. Kind of thing, and I didn't pull that last drawbar out, and I'll explain that in a moment. So here's that sound that you kind of know and love, don't you? And what's it doing? I've switched it on and off. Adding that high pitch click. You might find it interferes a little bit. It's a bit aggressive, and this is where that soft comes in. It's still there. There it is. You hear it? I'll bring the drawbars in. It's a nice one, that is. Can make it go away quite quickly. So just that little percussion on the top. Can you still hear it? And you can change the note from second to third, so it's now going to, if I'm in F, it's going to play a C. And that's quite nice, isn't it? Let's get it in its most aggressive mode so you can hear it again. Hear that? It's up. Bring in the drawbars a bit. Really nice for punching this, poking out. Still a bit cold in here, sorry about that. 4 up, there's a phrase for 4 up. That's a really nice one for cool rhythms. You can still hear it, can't you? Still got its worth, but quite subtle. That's a nice one for rhythm. Now, I've rigged up a stationary speaker, a Marshall stationary speaker, which we'll go into in a moment. But I thought of a couple of sounds that you may have heard. There's a very jazzy sound, maybe the Leslie on, and maybe a bit less subtle. You know, that kind of all the drawbars at the top and all the drawbars at the bottom, weak. Must have heard that one before. Let's make it a bit more subtle. Okay, so let's get that Leslie off. Get all those off. We're going to go for a bit of Child in Time, right? That's how it goes. Well, let's take the overdrive down a bit, shall we? Because that's a bit brutal for that bit. No. So this sound here with the 4 drawbars here, maybe I think it's like 8, 7, 8, 8, and the percussion on thirds is your kind of Child in Time kind of sound. I think that's still a bit too overdriven, do you? So let's take the overdrive off. Beautiful sound, isn't it? Beautiful, really nice, very atmospheric. Now with the old Marshall there set up on the stationary sound, bit of magic in post. I can take the Leslie sound off and I can play you the Marshall sound. There is a tune by the aforementioned Deep Purple, which is it's all about volume, really. You know that one. Sounds great, doesn't it? And John Lord was after the volume. There's no doubt about it. He got the organ because it was the widest sound and it distorted best, and you could put it through a guitar amp and it would be as loud as the guitar. Number one, and two, it wouldn't sound terrible. And it really doesn't. It's quite impressive. So he was after volume, so he had all these drawbars out. The top one, I still need to come back to and explain that one to you, but let's say he had them all out. Sounds pretty speedy, doesn't it, in a kingy kind of way. And then, to my mind, because you hear in the intro to speaking, the very quiet bit before it goes loud, you can hear the percussion is on there. I think he was all up as well. Just for that extra bit of noise. Hear it? You have to learn to play it a certain way because the triggers. See that one? That'll go. So it's very staccato. vicious, isn't it? You can make it a bit less with a soft. But again, the overdrive, Hammond organ overdrive, builds up the key click and the percussion, and kind of, I guess it limits it and compresses it and squashes it a bit, you know. Spot the tune, but so I think a lot of what John Law did on those earlier albums was just about getting the volume up live. Hear the difference there? Kind of thing. One more thing to show you really on the drawbar. There's your percussion, as we've discussed. And on the top drawbar, nothing happens. It's cancelled. I wonder if I can just do this. Whoa. Now we're into technology now. There we go. So, here we go. So, yes, yes. Nothing. So that click takes the place of that. And I imagine somewhere technically around the tone wheel and the percussion generation is using that tone wheel or frequency or whatever. I don't actually know, so it'd be good to have a look at that. There we go, back over there. So I tend not to even bother pulling that one out when I'm on full percussion. Now, someone could probably tell me what this is about, why Hammond decided what we really need is a little bit of a click on the top there. No doubt it's going to be some kind of church organ-y background, but I don't know. The early ones didn't have that on. It's something I'm yet to investigate. But I hope we've had a quick little session on percussion, and that builds in really to the session we had on drawbars and the inverse keys. We've also looked at the overdrive in the past as well. So now we're looking at how we are generating that sound. So we generated the tone from the drawbars. Now we're adding a nice little frequency on there now, on the front. Before you know it, you're getting a lot of character, aren't you? And that's even before we've even gone heavily into the speakers, whether it be the PR40s, the stationary speakers, sneaky little Marshall in the background there, or in that cupboard over there, my Leslie 122 with all the microphones on it and all the bits and bobs. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope that's been of use. We'll start building up on this more, and we'll start discussing more in the future, I think. So please like and subscribe. That is really useful for me if you do that. Thank you very much. And also, it looks like I will be interviewing some well-known people and manufacturers in the future as well, and that'll be quite interesting. So if you have any particular questions that you'd like me to ask, you're a jobbing musician, a famous musician, a vendor, a maker of effects pedals perhaps, or something like that, you know, I'm hoping to get them all on, and as many people as I can get on. Whoever will talk to me, I'll certainly talk to them for a bit. So let me know if you have any suggestions there, and as ever, comments down below. I read them all. I reply to as many as I can. And if there are any suggestions for other things you'd like me to show you, either on the C3, Marshall, I've got Leslie's everywhere, I've got M102s knocking around, clone wheels, Rhodes, XK5, even the beautiful little Roland Juno DS main stage, all these bits and bobs that I've got knocking around this studio. Very happy to show you how they work, or help you in any way that I can. I'm not an expert, but you know, I'll help. It's free. Enjoy. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.